Hello, I'm Papia. In this problem, we have this polar equation that's given to us. We have to convert the polar equation to a rectangular equation, and then we have to sketch its graph. So, notice that in polar form, we have the variables r and theta. We have to change it to rectangular form where we use the variables x and y. So first recall what is the relationship between all these variables. So note that r square is x square plus y square. So using that, we can replace r with x and y. Now what about theta? Well, we have sine theta given to us. So remember that y is equal to r times sine theta. So we can get sine theta from here, and then we have to rewrite r as well. So let's see if we can use these two equations, these two relationships, and use it in this equation to find the rectangular form. Now, this is r equals 3 sine theta. Notice if we have an r sine theta in the right hand side, we can right away replace it by y. So how can we have an r sine theta? Well, let's multiply throughout by r. So left hand side we have r square, right hand side we have 3r sine theta. So all I did was multiply by r, both left and right. And as soon as I do that, look, r square can be replaced by x square plus y square. And r sine theta, this entire expression, is just y. So this becomes 3y. And we have converted from polar to rectangular. So we can leave it this way, but we also have to sketch its graph. So let's see if we can understand what kind of graph we will get from this rectangular form. So let's bring the 3y on the left hand side, set everything equal to 0. Now, look, the x term, there's just one x term and it is a complete square, x square. But we have two different y terms. So this is not a complete square. So what we usually do is we complete the square for both x and y term. And then we will understand what kind of graph we will have. So let's do that next. We have to complete the square from these two terms, y square and y term. So let me quickly remind you how to do that. Complete the square. So you take the two terms, y square minus 3y. In order for it to be a complete square, we need a third term, which we don't have. So what we do is we figure out what the third term we need, we add and subtract that. Okay, so what is the third term? So you keep y square minus 3y. Then what you do is you take this number 3, you divide it by 2, and then square it and add that number. So one more time, you take 3, divide by 2, square, and add. But notice we are saying this line is equal to this line, but it's not, right? We have an extra third term. Therefore, we should also subtract that number to balance it. Okay, why did we do that? Because these first 3 terms will give you a complete square. And the complete square that you will get is y minus this 3/2 whole square. Notice you FOIL it and you will get y square minus 2 times y times 3/2. So you just end up with the 3/2 plus 3/2 square. So we just went the other direction. And then you will also have this negative 3/2 square. So now come back here. Instead of these two terms, we now have a complete square and another number. So let's put that here and we get x square plus y minus 3/2 square minus 3/2 square is equal to 0. Okay. Write down one more step. We keep the x and the y terms to the left side of the equation and take this constant to the right side. So this is the rectangular form. We're going to use this equation to graph. Look at this equation and recall, what will the graph represent? Well, do you see that it's a standard form of a circle? Note that a standard form of a circle is x minus h square plus y minus k square is equal to r square. What is this hk? That's the center. So center is hk, and what is the r? Well, that's the radius. So a circle with center hk and radius r is given by this equation. And look, this is exactly what our equation looks like. So let's write this equation in the standard form, find the center and the radius, and graph the circle. So let's come back here, and we'll be graphing our circle right here. So our expression has x square, which means this is x minus 0 square, so there's no other constant, is 0, plus we have y minus 3/2 square, and the right hand side is 3/2 square. So do you see which one is h? This is h, this is k, and this is r. So this will be a circle with center 0, 3/2. So let's see, say this is 3/2. So center is 0, 3/2, which is this point, and radius is 3/2. Well, radius 3/2 means this is radius here, and on top also we have a radius of 3/2. So let's say this is 3, which means the radius of the circle is, this is 3/2 and this is also 3/2. So you're drawing the circle. Remember, 3/2 is the center, right? This is the radius. Okay, so let's draw it. So this is roughly what the graph will look like. So x-axis is going to be a tangent line, and it has a center of 3/2 and radius 3/2. That completes the problem. Thank you.